Okay, I'm going to make this video. It's possibly the most demanding video I ever done. I start from saying that this video, this perspective, is a must, is a complementary to the deep state of event, deep state of government, the deeper control over our life that is manifesting, that is revealed day by day now. It started last night when I went to sleep. I asked from the level of the angelics to give me a broadened insight, a greater perspective, which of this nature I've gotten several times, quite often recently and even before. So I asked again to receive a broader perspective. So I can say that the title of the dream and the title of this message is the deep state of loss, of death and abandonment. Right. Yeah. So the dream goes like this. I was in Amsterdam with my friend, and I decided to go back to Israel, to home. And when I came here, I looked for my mother's house. And I found my mother's house was a pretty nice house, like my mother would have. So I just stepped in, walked around, and then my mother came. It wasn't my mother. It wasn't my mother. So I realized my mother is not here. She's gone. She gone. She never come back. So I took my bag. I went outside the street, and I walked around. I arrived to the beach. It was a beautiful sea, always glowing and beautiful. It was unbelievably beautiful. But the people who walked by the beach with their families, with our children in the cars, they were all very busy with their lives. They didn't look at the sea at all. They were not there. They were in their businesses. They were in their worries, in their work. So then I further walked into the town, and I walked around, and I felt completely disengaged from everything that is going on. I tried to go into one restaurant. I meet people, and one of them asked me, "Oh, did you leave Amsterdam? Where is your friends, And then he went on. There's somebody who probably knew me. So I felt completely disengaged, completely disconnected from this society. And this is a feeling that I'm carrying on with me for like 40 years already. And the message of this dream, after I gathered myself and opened the computer, I wrote the following: the deep state of loss, death, and abandonment, which is our inner state of being. We are looking for, while we're looking for a solution for our problems from the government, from the system, from the society, still our inner being is always and repeatedly of loss. We lose everything that we build up, all the relationship that we build up. We lose our family, we lose our dear ones, our loved ones, and we live in completely abandoned in this earth that is so beautiful, but we are so abandoned and left on our own, and that's my feeling was. And I think it's a deep feeling that is haunting everybody. So it's a repetition state of taking our life from us. We're living a short life and it's been taken away from us. We're losing who we loved and who loved us. The deep state of never going back and not finding the ones we loved and lost, never finding the homes we once had, the deep state of being left behind in what in fact is beautiful and incredible, amazing world. But we live in a total alienation, deprived of our sovereignty, of our ability to be alive here at all, live like we live slaves in scarcity, cut off from each other. We are cut off from humanity by a local individual under temporal definitions. So our temporal definition is what they would ask me where I belong to, which family I belong to, what name do you have, what place do you belong, who are your friends, who are your circle of friends, because that's what identify me. I'm not identified by my own being. I'm identified by the frame, the title. And if people don't identify me within a certain circle, so then I don't exist. I am left in the street. I am homeless. I am nobody. So I had to do this video to somehow give the proper perspective to the trouble that we are facing, because the trouble that we are facing on one side is the control, is our living under oppression, under scarcity, in wars, in lies, in false identity. People cannot connect to each other on a real value at all, and just connecting according to credits. How much credits do I bring with me on paper in what people know about me, to being able to identify me and be together to the level that this unification, allows. Yeah, so if I look at it again, this is the title that I chose. This is the title, The Deep State of Loss, of Death and Abandonment, because this is what this is our situation here. We are fighting for freedom from the system. The system is imposing a strict identity, a strict structure to how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive everybody else, how we perceive the way that we should act during the day, what we should do. It's all in a very small, condensed space. This is literally nothing. And we lose the sense of the big world, we lose the sense of the feeling of this beautiful world, you know. And it's very hard to compare, because once you look at the grandiosity, the grandeur of this world, that it's so beautiful, you cannot look at the limited piece where you are supposed to live. And in this limited piece we're supposed to live, in this small framework, there is all the struggle. The struggle between the government and the people, the struggle between the deep state in Washington, and the struggle between those party who fight the other party, and struggle within the family, and the caring for the family, and the food for the family, and the work, and the occupation, and the annoyance of the airplane, of the chemtrails, of the frequencies that they radiate here, you know, transmit here into this box, small box where people live, you know, while the major characteristic of this box is starting from death after death after death. You know, you live where your parents died, your grandparents died, all died for centuries in this experience, laboratory, where people are being slaughtered, and this is being given to us as truth, as the divine truth, that this is the life that we should live. Now, in the along the history, there were people who doubted it, who have experienced the greatness of life, and they came back into society and they started to question all this, you know, and they got lost in the maze. Because it's very difficult, it's literally impossible to be on the grand life, living the great life and living the small life in the same time. This is impossible. And when you live in a small life, you are entangled by all these problems. While when you are living in the great life, you don't understand the people, and the people don't understand you. And the people don't understand you, they want you out of their lives, you know, they don't even look at you. You can walk around them and you can be absolutely in heaven, but they will not notice that you are that. But again, I wanted to come back to the impression of the dream, because the impression of the dream is a present, is a hard present to digest. But in this picture, in this story that is real, you have gone, you know, for a while away from your society and away from your circle, familiar circle, and then you came back. You are not recognized anymore because nobody knows the story, because you must have a common, you know, a story that they must recognize you by, you know, and you came back and you are not considered at all as human. Maybe the government will still like to have you on their list and try to collect taxes from you, which is so. But I think the major pain of people in this culture when they want to, I mean, it's not the government, it's not the imposition of laws and violence. It is violence. It is very violent. It's restricted. Yes, but the problem is that you have in your innate memory, life after life, you live here, you live here for a short while, you fall in love with people, you connect to people, you invest in your relationship, you invest in a location, you build yourself a great place, eventually to lose it, and then supposedly if you return here, then to build it again if you can. So it's a vicious circle of disappointment. So actually the inner thread of this limited life is a disappointment of hoping so much and creating so much and believing so much in things that are temporal, that you are temporal, and you're going to lose it. You're going to lose everybody, and everybody is going to lose you. So this is standing subliminal. It's standing on the basis of our individual life and our communal life. And if the system is about to collapse and vanish, it means that this destruction of life, again and again and again, repeated destruction of life, generation after generation, repeating incarnation after incarnation. They say that you learn from incarnations, but the only thing that you learn from incarnation really is disappointment. So disappointment is the attitude where from you come to what? To hope for the system to improve themselves. For what? They say for the next generation, but the same generation is you, is their children. It's the same, they're stuck in the same black hole, as they say. It's a perception that cannot go beyond the limitation, and what is there, it's just being swallowed by nothingness, They say go back to source. Source, you don't go back to source. So source is everything, everywhere. You are the source yourself. So how come this system that is imposed on us, has the power to actually kill us again and again and again, create a situation of death, of hope, of disappointment, grave disappointment, unimaginable disappointment, because you invested so much in everything, and now you lost everything. So it is, again, it's the heart of the issue here. It can be described as in the title, I said it in the title, I'm trying to retrieve this page again. Yeah, anyway, it is a life of death. It's a deep state of death, of dissolution, of loss, abandonment. But this abandonment also, where people are taught, re-educated again and again to lose. They don't want to invest. People, maybe many who are born here, they're so educated that they don't want to love anybody. They don't want to connect really with anybody because they're going to lose everybody soon. So it's maybe educating people, preparing them to become machines. Then if the machine says that if you're going to die in the condition that they say it's absolute from the divine, but they created. So if they want to replace your body organs with machines, because the machines, they say, endure greatly much better than the physical body. You know? The physical body is so low, is so degenerated, is so hopeless. Yeah. So I think I said what I wanted. I may be able to do a better movie on it. It's not easy for me to do this video at all, but I tried. Yeah. So thank you for watching me. I'm your son Pedro, and nice to see you again, to be seen again. Thank you. Adios.